This is the WESPAC Ghana 2025 SIKA Gold event, and this is round 13. On stream now we have Akhabue Priscilla facing off against Orji David. They are both youth players, and so I'm really excited to see how this pans out.
Definitely, I'm very stoked for this one. We have two young Scrabble legends in the making, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. Already, we see Priscilla with the move of theme. Okay, I think she's going for theme instead. The move of HEAME or myth MEATHE for 30 points would have scored higher, but she played theme for 22 points. Now it's back to David.
All right. Let's note that David placed second at the just concluded Lekki Scrabble Classics that happened in September this year. He also won the 2023 Africa Youth Scrabble Championship, the under 19 category. He also placed second at the Scrabble in the Jungle event, which happened in December 2023, as well as the Bubbles Invitational Scrabble Tournament, which took place in 2025,
Oh
earlier
wow.
this year.
Looks like these youngins are really making it in the Scrabble limelight, and I'm very interested and particular to see how far they go. Can you tell us a bit of Priscilla too?
Yes, Priscilla has been playing Scrabble right from when she was a youth player. When she was a teenager, she played at the National Youth Games event for Lagos State, and she's a National Sports Festival medalist. She has several medals from the National Sports Festival.
Wow, looks like we have two young Scrabble youngins, Scrabble legends in the making, and this game is definitely going to be very exciting. Already, we see theme come down from Priscilla, and the rack on David's rack is the tiles on David's rack is DOWNEAL. Now, David could decide to play just below theme. He could play her down, ADOWN, for 29 points, leaving EL. In another position, he could play the same word just above theme for 29 points. What other options do you see here for David?
I think those are the top options, but it looks like he's doing Dow instead.
All right. So now Dow scores less. It scores 23 points and leaving EAN. All right, so we see ASTHOVIN on Priscilla's rack hand.
David took out, our um, floats. She would have played Stovein or Stovein to the E of to either of the E's, but he was able to take out both floats.
All right, so we see her coming through with something.
It
Okay,
looks like she's going to try Stovein, which is not valid. It takes a compulsory E.
definitely.
I
So
think we'd be seeing a challenge. I think we'll be seeing a challenge. Although she has not made the play yet, all right, and she just pressed the time, but we'll most likely be seeing a challenge. It looks like she's on her hold.
okay,
And
we are
yes,
definitely going to see
we
a
are
challenge.
definitely going to be seeing a challenge.
No, what now? What do you think brought about that move? Do you think she thinks Stovin with the E is valid?
There are certain words take take the original variant, and then the E is just an additional. So they are valid with or without the E. But Slovene is not one of them. I think she must have confused um Slovene for to be one of those words.
Yeah, most likely. Too bad we are going to see that come off the board. All right, so we might be seeing another bingo from the first bingo from David. I believe he has Isatine on his rack, and interestingly, he could play that just below Dow horizontally for 80 points, overlapping EDMO EW, so forming EDSMOAEWT. So that would be the top choice if he decides to play Isatine. But yeah, we are still getting a challenge. Okay, as expected, the move is coming off the board, and we would be seeing a bingo of Isatine from David. Now, he could decide to play this. Um, he could decide to hook the S from the Isatine to the Dow from but that would score less. That would score 70 points. So, where do you think he should position his next bingo?
I think underneath Dow is the best, although he might be scared of the um times four threat, but having seen Priscilla's rack, I don't think it's possible for her to, do that.
Although, if he plays Isatine, you know that now Priscilla would be able to play Ashtovane with the E. So the best position for him to play this Isatine would be if he hooks the E from Isatine to Dow to form DOWNE. That would be the best position. So,
Well, that's cause hold on.
okay, I think we are seeing he's changed his mind, knowing the risk of playing that way
And
with
he wants to play Titanize.
okay.
What? And he does it.
Titanize is in fact a
All
funny.
right, and we'll be seeing a challenge. Wow.
Yeah, this has taken a very interesting turn from both players.
Interesting.
I
must
think
say.
David realized in playing that extra time in that position would give back the E for Priscilla to play
But then
Stovane.
risking it enough to lose a turn. I mean, Titanic doesn't even score as much as the way he was arranging his attack, because he was arranging his attack underneath the Dowel, and that scores 80.
But it does
Titanic
give
doesn't
back.
score that much. So even if he gives back the E, you just got your bingo down, and she lost the turn. So what's the point? Although he must have confused it for the other for the word tetanize. I think that's what he must have been thinking. Sometimes this word flash in your head, and then you are doubting, oh, is this the one that I know, or is the spelling different, or what's not? But I think he must have confused it for that. Although if he was doubting and if he wasn't sure, I really don't think there was a need to take a zero, especially when it doesn't score as much as the original play of Isatine, which he arranged on the board. Anyways, that is that. Current score is 22-23. We saw a challenge from David Stovane without the ESTOVAIN when Priscilla played. And we also saw a challenge of Titanized by Priscilla. All right.
The best move for Priscilla right now, depending on what she decides to leave, if she decides to play a move, you know, hooking the O and the V to the MO from Dame and Dow, she could play that for 10, leaving A high Hennessy, and I think we would be saying that coming through.
Yeah, I think that's the best. It takes out that spot
Now,
of
I think
Isatine underneath Dow.
David would be left with a choice either to play Isatine. Now, he could hook the S2 moves, and I think that's exactly what we would be saying for 74 points. Now, initially, he could have played his Isatine with the E hooking the down. So I think he probably missed that, and he won't have missed the stone the previous round. So Isatine coming down from David for 78 points.
And we should be seeing another bingo come down right now.
Looks like it's raining bingo.
You can say that again.
All right. So with a rack of UINTASR, a whole lot of options actually. But I
Exactly.
see her going for Renate for 68 points. The Though I think the options that scores the most would be Sutorian through the O of Omon. That's quite obscure, but if she was able to spot that and right above 10, she could play that for 76 points. We're seeing Renee's come down for 68 points, and that has been okay, she's still counting her scores.
Looks like a back-to-back um, play by both players.
Yeah, it's bingo, bingo, bongo.
Back to back to back, lots of talk. Back to back bingo.
Exactly. So now back to David.
All
Okay.
right, David looks like he has RRKGHBV. Clunk it out. No vowels to complement. Ooh, must be tough. One would really hate to be in David's shoes right now.
Definitely. I mean, his options are quite limited. He might be considering an exchange, or he might want to play through the U of Renates for if he could spot the word BRUGH, leaving KRV for 25 points,
I
or
don't
he
think he's
could
going to
play.
do that. Looks like he's changing.
All right, that's one of the other options. Okay, he is changing and moving on quickly.
To Priscilla, she has BLEDYCI. Acidi to the triple lane, playing um, playing to the A of a certain Acidi scores 42.
For the same point, she could play Abyed, ABYED, at the same spot, leaving CIL. And what would you do here?
I think Acidi is a wonderful move, keeping BEL. I think that leave is very flexible, and then it also um, opens the board a little bit. All right, Ogbonna Michael in the chat says ABYED for Priscilla. Yes, I think ABYED. She might decide to do that, or ACD scores 42 points. All right, she's working hard. Timer check 18 minutes, 19 minutes. They still have a lot of time. If you're just joining us, this is round 13, not the main event, but the SIKA Gold event. This is the side event of the main event of the World English Scrabble Players Association Championship happening here in Ghana, Accra, Ghana. Uh, 13 rounds of beautiful Scrabble. If you've missed any of the streams, we've had Timi Doko on stream today. We've had Izinore George. We just had Cyril Umebi, and yes.
Okay, so we might be seeing a mix of both Asidi and Abiyed. She's going for Abud and she's taking that back. Maybe she's still considering her options. Okay, and she's going for Abud for 33 points, leaving CIY. Oh, wow.
Orji David as AIFFZKJ. All the biggies. My goodness.
Okay, it could place Ziff, ZIFF, from the eye of Ishatine. I mean, that scores about 43 points, leaving AJK. Another option might be to play Zafir, that is ZAFFIR, hooking the R of Renate. Now,
I think that's a good option. That's Zafar option. Scores 42, and it's like a little setup for his J or his K.
definitely. Other options might be to play GIF, was cost significantly less, and GIF in the same spot of ZIF. So that scores 39 points.
Ogwanda Michael in the chat says Asidi should be the optimum move. Yes, that's what we feel, or we feel Priscilla should have done, but instead, I think maybe she did not see it. She does Ibu instead. But yeah, that turn is gone now, and we're waiting for Orji David to make his move. He was about to arrange Zif, not in a position that we thought, but playing through the eye of Time.
I think playing Zif at that spot will probably score 40, if I'm correct, or 39 thereabouts. So in playing Zif right underneath is a time with the F hooking the I instead would be a better position. So let's see what it plays instead. He might be considering what he would be giving back to his opponent if he decides to play it at that angle.
It
So
looks
I
like he
see
decides to play cat instead.
cards.
I wonder what the thought process behind that must be. Keeping J, Z, two Fs. That's that's um that's very weird if you ask me.
I mean, playing Zafir is another better option, but we didn't see that come through.
Anyways, over to Priscilla. I think she has Yoni to do, but instead she's doing IC. Keeping
Okay.
ONE. I think she's more focused on her leave, her rack leave. She would want to, bingo and see how far ahead she can get in this game.
Okay, so she played ICL for 15 points. Now back to David with AFFIZJU.
All right, looks like a
Might have a juicy move coming up. If he could spot
juicily. All right, looks like David did enough NUFF, and Priscilla went into the bag to pick VYPG, all heavy consonants. I wonder how she would dispose this. Looks like she's looking to do Envoy, probably behind Renate OYYU. Looks like that's what she'll be looking to do. All right, looks like she's doing Envoy. Let's note that Envoy takes a hook R and L. Yes, takes R and L. All right, over to David. JAAIZRG. All right, so I'm not sure if David knows the hook of Envoy, but he would want to play something like Javier Renvoy. Looks like he's doing Za instead. Za scores 64. WEPGTSX. Priscilla um turn to move. All right. While we're waiting for Priscilla to make a move, I really can't help but wonder if David did not know the hook, Rainbow and then play in Jaguar. I think
Yeah, that might be a possibility.
I think so too. Looks like Priscilla is doing tooks.
Okay, so we are seeing talks come down and it's cost about 39 points. All right, so the miss from David, I think that would have avoided the Zamov if he was able to spot Jaguar, and it does happen, or maybe it was an oversight from David. Okay, I think it's back to David now. I see a rack of JAIGRCD. So he's making a move of JIRGA instead. And I'm not sure if that's correct. Unfortunately, I think that is a funny. I know the alternative of JAGIR. So okay, that is incorrect. I think the incorrect one here is I think Ricely is in fact the invalid one, and we would be getting a challenge there. You probably thought of the word maybe pricely and thought Ricely should be valid. Yeah, and in fact, Ricey, RICEY is valid. Is a valid word. So JAGI and JIRGA are both correct, but the incorrect one is the Ricely, and we see that being taken off the board. Wow. We've seen a couple of phonies on this board, and that has been challenged by both players, and it's quite interesting to see. Now it's back to Priscilla with PLOWGES. Curious to see what she does on this turn. Okay, an interesting option might be to hook the L to the envoy. So the envoy does take R and L. So I'm not sure she's aware of that, but she goes for something different. She plays plow instead. The P hooking AR. Also, I think it's very interesting to see how both hooks would have probably changed the dynamics of the game. I mean, we missed Renvoy and we are seeing another miss of Lenvoy. Immediately, I see David coming down with Jig.
I mean, if Priscilla knows the hook of Envoy to be Lenvoy, she would have played Louts. Louts is 45, and 45 is a lot of points, to let go of compared to
So,
a
plow.
move of Plow. Yes, Plow is just 20, which scores
Wow, what a
really
miss.
less.
Okay, so now it's back to, I think David is still calculating his scores. He played the move of G with the G hooking the OR.
All right, while we're waiting for Priscilla to open her tiles, current scores Priscilla 238, 252. For David, it's still anyone's game as both blank are still unseen. All right, we still can see our tiles. So
I see just G, yes.
yes, I think our hand is in front of the cam. Toyemi Ebenezer says JIRGAAI.
Yeah, I think that's a miss from David. You
Yes,
could have
right
played
over.
J with the J sitting on the double letter and through the
Yes.
double word. That would score massively, actually. That was a miss from David.
All
And
right, Ebenezer says, I'm sure David saw it but doesn't want to give back.
that could be a
But
possibility.
isn't that
But
better than taking a zero?
but he opted for jig instead. Probably an oversight. Who knows? Okay, so I see Priscilla is yet to
Okay,
pick.
looks
She's
like
just
looks
doing
like
that.
there's a score reconciliation going on because I can see that the time. Okay, they resumed the time. Looks like we should be seeing Priscilla's tiles any moment from now.
Okay, I see GSTIRD from Priscilla.
Digester,
Hmm.
digester to the
O of
O
move.
of Omo.
Now, do you think she would see this one, or is this somewhere she would be willing to look? I mean, the O doesn't even look like a floater to
Exactly,
me.
like it's pretty hidden.
Exactly. I think we missed a bingo that could have come down through that same spot earlier in the game.
Yes, we did. I
So
really don't think so. I really don't think she would be thinking to play to that. I think she might be looking for other possible floats.
like the E of able, she might be thinking of something towards that lane, but I don't see any possibility of a bingo from that lane, or do you?
I do not. I really do not.
In absence of digester, if she does see the hook of envoy for envoy, she could play ridge. I mean, that scores about 36 and leaves ST. So it might be an option she could consider if she does remember that hook.
True. And David seems pretty cool, calm, and collected. The first blank found its way to his rack, and
Interesting.
yes, we should be seeing it didn't come down on his turn.
I mean, Priscilla might take her time on this one because this rack looks very flexible, and you just know I have to play bingo. I want to
Yes,
play bingo on this one. It would be very frustrating if she's not able to.
indeed, she'll be looking. Oh, is there anything I'm missing?
Hmm.
Let me see. There should be something because it's um very sad, especially when these tiles. They go very well,
Exactly.
and even though there are no straight sevens in that rack, you would be
Hmm.
looking to see if you could play to any of the possible floats on the board.
Exactly. So I think she has made another move. Wow. And she was very close to that offload, but she's going
For girded,
interesting. I think Greta scores just 14 points. And she committed that. Now, David has a rack of CARHED blank. Okay, what bingo should we be expecting for this turn coin?
looking to play through the E from able, he has search scores a whooping 86 points.
Wow, I really hope he's searching for search.
Looking to play through the T of theme as well, he has ratcheted or coded.
Oh, got it.
I think those are the options he has right now, or
Okay,
something like hard face.
you might be seeing coded. Okay,
Looks like
hard
he's
arts.
looking at cheddary or cheddars, playing through the D.
D.
Yes.
Interesting.
Although it scores way less, it scores 67 and search scores 86. That's almost 20 points less.
Okay. Okay, still taking his time on this one. Okay, an interesting one would be if they are able to spot SUB to thing, to form something. Do you think we might be seeing something like that? You know, an extension from the thing.
I really don't think so. I really don't think so. The two S's that are left are on Priscilla's rack. She doesn't have the U, she doesn't have the B. So yeah, I really don't think we'll be seeing something. But then seeing extension of words would really be nice. But
Yeah, I
yes,
mean, it's very interesting to see. We've seen relations yesterday with LUNAT to the IONS. It was very beautiful to see. And we could have seen an amazing one when it was me and Excel from with the zoo. You know, that was on stream. So I think that was 2 days ago during the last chance qualifiers. But unfortunately, we might not be seeing something today. So we are seeing Ratcheted come down from David for 76 points. Interesting. Now it's back to Priscilla. She has, I think I see 10 sets of Iraq, and the best position to play would be just beside ratcheted with the T hooking the E and the E hooking the D, coming down 10 zest for 71 points.
I think these two players have a thing for playing back to back bingos. Once you play, I must reply.
Definitely. I mean, the tiles are really flowing, and these people are awarded, so they are really going for it. Okay, I think David is on hold because he's yet to pick.
Time check 7 minutes to 12 minutes. Okay, looks like she has allowed it.
Okay, looks like she found it.
10
Kansas
says for
coming down
71.
for 71 points. Wow.
The scores will be pretty close at this point as soon as the scores are updated. David is yet to draw
Pick.
tiles from the bag. Again, I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of the games where you can't tell who is going to win. It's not over until it's over.
Definitely. I mean, both players have shown impressive skills from back-to-back bingos, challenges, and it's been very interesting to watch.
Very, very interesting.
Okay, so I see David with NPQO high, and he has picked the second blank of the game. Interesting.
I think David has a thing for drawing biggies, especially in this game. We saw the
Definitely.
C with him. We saw the J,
J.
the K, the first blank, now the second blank, and the Q.
Wow.
And even with that, I think it's worth mentioning that Priscilla,
I
has
mean,
been
yeah,
fighting
definitely. They've
to
been going neck to neck, and she's
yes.
been really fighting hard to stay in the game. So now we see a couple of options might be to play for David, might be to play pop just beside ratcheted with the O in the R and the P to the A. Crop scores about 38 points. It does open the triple lane, leaving IN blank. Now, if he doesn't want to do that, he might play Sook from the S of Tensors, SUQ, and the Q to the I of Isili, scoring 35 points. Now, what would you do here, Coin?
I think Sook is okay. Sook, because playing co-op, exposes the queue on the triple lane, and there's still one U that is not seen yet, and as you can see, it's on Priscilla's rack, so we might not want to do that.
Yeah, that is something worth considering. Now we see Coif from David instead. Okay. Coif does score 27, about 8 points less if he had played Sook, and he goes for that instead. Back to Prissy, we have RUMEAAE. A lot of runs here, but she could cash in with for about 48 if she decides to play MAARE. This is right beside Tenzest, overlapping ED and MEDANASRE. She would put score 48 points, leaving EU. But she could play mature,
I think that's what she's doing, opting for mature.
Mature
Yeah.
is also
But it scores quite
it scores
less.
less exactly. But MEARE is quite obscure, so she just went for matured instead.
POORBN blank. I think David is checking the number of tiles left in the bag. I think we should have about 6 tiles left in the bag.
Yeah.
Score check 350, 355. Like I said, still anyone's game, although David has the second blank
Of the game.
of the game on his rack.
Now at that same spot, Priscilla could have played at that same spot, Priscilla could have played MEARE. It can play Boon, BOON, with the B sitting comfortably on the triple letter score. And I think that was scoring about 30 points, leaving PR blank. In the same spot, it could go for Poon instead, POON. Other options might be no at the same spot, but scoring less for just 22 points.
I think the reason why David might not want to go there is because of the hook. If he plays, if he forms PED when he plays pawn, it takes O, it takes A, it takes S, although there are no S's left. But it looks like David is going to do it anyways. Yes.
Interesting. Now we see ANEGEAE on Priscilla's rack. Now, what are our options here, Coin?
Let's see. Maybe I'm trying to see if there's anything she could play, to take advantage of that spot. Because leaving that spot, especially when the last blank is out, you really do not want to do that. You really do not want to give your opponent to steal the game. Like, it would be better if you guys fight till the very end than to just give your opponent an easy chance to bingo. But I really do not think there's much that she can do. I really don't think there's much she can do.
Definitely, I agree. So we might be seeing a little older player in our choice.
I think she'll have to think deep, hard, and deep in this.
Oh, I think she's making a move already.
There are 2 tiles left in the bag. Let's take note of that.
Okay, do I see a move of Tay instead? Wow, what do you think about this one? She's dropping just a single tile.
Yeah, I think that's because there are 2 tiles left in the bag, and so she wants to leave at least one tile for our opponent to.
Very good observation from Priscilla.
BAR and IO blank. I think this might be a decider move. David has to play a bingo, or it might not get another chance to bingo in this game.
Okay, we have about two, three bingos he could play here through the newly opened spots that of PED. He could hook the O to PED and play Bizarro, making his blank Z. Hmm. Do you think you would be able to spot that?
Oh, I really cannot say. As it says, all the words there look very funny.
Honestly, I
Bizarro,
think other options
Barrios.
is Arboreal. Personally, I've never heard of that, and I think we see Barrios too. Barrios could definitely fit in there. But I mean, these are like youth champions. I believe they should or they might be able to spot. It might be able to spot any one of the three bingos. You could also interestingly, I see Prissy didn't just make a move of Bar and Tay. She's making a move of Baines instead. Okay, Baines has been committed for 23 points. Oh
And
my
looks
God,
like
are we
David's,
seeing the word come down?
yes,
Wow.
Barrico, that should be Barrico.
Hmm.
Yes, Barrico, 90 points
Wow, and
by
we are
David.
getting a
As
challenge.
expected, it's only expected that the world gets challenged. I mean, she really has nothing to lose.
Definitely. And with that, we might as well say this is David's game, and it would, in fact, seal his win for this round.
Well, can we just say both of them played really, really, really well?
I mean, definitely, even with the fact that Prissy didn't really pick any of the biggies, neither did she pick the blank, she still fought her way through. At some point, they were going neck to neck, and it's very impressive from her as well.
Yes, it is. It really is. All
Okay.
right, and that is green. Barrico, Oped, David wins this round. What an amazing play from him. What an amazing find. Big ups to David for spotting that. I think that brings us to the end of this round. Final scores:
Wow.
Priscilla 373, David 492.
Okay, actually, she's going to give back the remaining thousand. I think that would equal to 500
500, yes.
for David. Wow, this has
Amazing.
been amazing.
Simply wonderful. Wonderful play from both players. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, so that brings us to the end of this round. We will be streaming more of this category, and stay tuned and don't miss out on the next game comment.